VR is a future, yeah, but we maybe don't know now when this future will come, you know, and when VR technology becomes mass technology, and we will use it every day, not just for fun, not just for gaming, or now we have a lot of cases for education, yeah, we know such cases. But we still have, I'm sure, and we see the numbers that we still have some issues in the VR industry. What issues? You always need to carry this thing, you know. It's inconvenient. So you can use Instagram or Facebook very fast, you know, just from your smartphone, but you cannot bring it everywhere and use it everywhere. This is a big problem of VR industry. And sometimes you need to download special applications. Yes, if you don't have, so you need to download, create an account, so it's not fast. When we will solve such things, maybe when VR becomes fast, easy, and cheap technology, not only to consume VR content, but also to produce VR content. When mass of the people, when the crowd will have chance to create VR content like now they are creating video, for example, YouTube. Yeah. Now YouTube replaces, you know, production companies, telecommunication companies. Young people, me especially, I'm not TV watcher anymore. I'm watching YouTube because I have everything I want there. It's crowd content generation era or something like this. So I think when these issues will be solved, so VR be future and helps us a lot in a lot of things, you know. But we now here, and what we are doing is we are trying to bring this future becomes earlier. I mean, you see?
Yeah, this is a problem. You come home and prefer to switch TV rather than put these glasses. Actually, I tried VR business by using AI to kind of transform movies into virtual reality. So you can kind of feel it more engaged, but it's not convenient. You want to sit and relax, but it's always fail. And then you have headache.
Yep.
So what are your thoughts how to deal with this? Or maybe other ideas about the future? Who wants to continue?
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
You decide.
It's on you, okay.
My background is entertainment software. Been at that business for 25 plus years. VR is, to me, a natural extension to that business. It's another hardware and looking at some of the stats, I was just looking at some of the stats, pretty much every reputable company, you have IDC, DigiCapital, Citibank, it's from now until 2020, it's going to quadruple in size. And the reason why right now we don't see a lot of adoption because there isn't a lot of compelling content. I think partly the technology isn't there. You don't have the middlewares yet. They're finished from Unity or some of the other middleware companies. And I do believe, how do you publish? Who publishes? Actually, one of the ICOs I'm working on, Terra Virtua, we're announcing later, will be a blockchain-powered virtual world where we will, a little bit like Roblox or like Minecraft, we will have a sandbox environment for innovators to build and publish on a virtual world platform. And so we feel very strongly that the way VR will grow is through content. And as with any, you know, if VCR would have been nothing if there weren't any movies. VR is not there yet. It will grow. And we feel we can contribute with entertainment. There are other areas, of course, that are live events. esports tournaments. We have, you know, now we already have deals with some of the larger esports companies that want to do 3D esports, live stream it with VR. You have commercial applications. Land Rover contacted us the other day saying we want to do a VR drive. We want to have a VR experience selling our cars, or whether it's real estate. So there's a multitude of content applications in the pipeline, but it's not quite ready yet. We haven't reached that mass market yet.
Can I please add? Yeah, I am really very surprised because what we are doing is also virtual world powered by blockchain technology. Yes, but we are concentrating on VR now, on 3D, and we are VR compatible. And Jaguar Land Rover, they are already our clients. We already started to build for them. They
who is this?
Markspace.
Right.
Yeah, you can check. We just started to build for them. They showroom. They will sell cars. They are expecting for virtual test drives. They are going to sell cars through our platform. But I mean, it's okay.
We're in a world now. I remember the beginnings of the video games business. Yeah. We were all frenemies. Yeah. We were all building and selling, and everything sold out. And I think we're at a stage now. Blockchain-powered VR is in an early stage. Every innovation, it's like the more public awareness there is about what we do, the masses will accept, and they can certainly handle 1, 2, or 10 other similar concepts in the market.
Yeah, but our idea is we understood the lacks of VR industry, that we don't have now big audience. Why? Because not many people have such things. Yes,
and that is the key.
That's why we started with 3D. So you can run our world through the browser on your laptop, on your tablet, on your smartphone, but it's VR compatible. If you want another kind of experience, if you want to improve it, you can buy. So we think maybe our platform will be also like a bridge to VR world for the crowd, for the people all over the world. And also what we give now people, we gave already them the opportunity to build and their own spaces very fast, very easy, you know, because we have a very easy construction in our platform. So they can create now content, because before it was impossible. Now even kids can create 3D and VR content with our platform. So this is our idea.
Yeah, I think for us, content is king. We're raising a fair amount of ICO raise, and we will dedicate, I think it's 45 or 50% towards acquiring or incentivizing the best content providers in the business, whether they're non-VR, big brands, but we feel if we provide a place for people to go and the brands are recognizable, we will actually subsidize the business in the beginning to drive users to the platform.
Absolutely.
Cool.
The
So,
same strategy.
what is interesting? What is the most popular content now, and what is? It's a good point that it's kind of not convenient to wear this stuff. What kind of content can kind of overcome this technical problem? And what are technical solutions? Any ideas there? Yep.
I'd like to take a step back a little bit. I was a co-founder of Electronic Arts 35 years ago, and so I'm older than you are in this industry.
Cool.
And I stepped out of it in about 20 years ago because I could, and so I've been doing investments on my own ever since. And I didn't get back into any entertainment companies as a participant or investor because I didn't see anything that I thought was transformational or had the potential. When we started Electronic Arts, I think we were at a very similar position to where VR is right now. There weren't many computers in homes. That's what we were developing, or we were publishing software for. So we had to, that's this kind of chicken and egg thing. We needed more hardware out there. So it turned out that our software, content was always king and still is, and our software drove the sales of home computers. We kind of had to have that happen. I think we're at the same point with virtual reality, but I did find a company that in the entertainment space, it's a location-based entertainment. It's a company out of that spun out of the Fraunhofer Institute in Germany, and it tracks to within 1 millimeter the location of anybody in a space that is within 1 millimeter. Anybody wearing a headset in the same space can be in the same virtual reality. So there can be it can be a social interaction in virtual reality. It has to be out of the home, and of course people don't have to own the headsets because the location, the venue, who is supporting this interaction, social interaction in virtual reality, provides headsets for everybody that's in it. I don't know if any of you are familiar with the VR coaster. Are you familiar with VR coaster? It's
vaguely.
It's a subsidiary of the fairly secret German company that owns the roller coaster industry. It's called Mack Rides. They are the largest roller coaster manufacturer, and they're a 270-year-old company. They weren't making roller coasters that long ago, but that's what they've evolved into, and they basically own that market. So what they've done is provided. They created a company called VR Coaster, and they provide headsets to people who are riding roller coasters. They have 50 right now, 50 theme parks around the world where you can get on a roller coaster, put a headset on. It's Gear VR, so you're not tethered to anything. And instead of seeing the frames of the roller coaster and when you're riding it, you're in a totally different world. But you're feeling, you're on the roller coaster. You get, and it's all the content's all coordinated with when you're doing you're going up over a thing.
A motion device that's synchronized with the
absolutely.
VR, right?
So you are every car in a roller coaster has a device that will connect with it's actually Bluetooth, connects with the headset. So if you're in the last car, you have a different experience than if you're in the first car. But it follows you through the roller coaster, and the roller coaster rides.
And gravity, right?
Sorry?
You got the haptics and gravity.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
And it's, I never really thought about this that much, but roller coaster rides are only about 3.5 minutes long. I thought they were much longer than that. They seemed much longer to me. But anyway, so VR Coaster has already started using, that application for virtual reality. Well, the company that I became a part of, called Holodeck VR, in Germany, is now we have one installation in Mexico City where we have a space in an upscale mall in Mexico City with nothing in it. But you go in and you get headset put on, and then you pay for a 5 or 6 minute experience. Either we have a haunted house you can walk through, but there's nothing in the room. It's just, you're just experiencing the virtual reality. And you can, in that particular case, you can go with friends, you can see each other, you can interact as you're walking through a haunted house. We also have some of our own content, games that you can play. One is I have to say a copy. It's of Pac-Man. So you become Pac-Man and you run down, because you're not tethered to anything. You can run down the hallways or of the Pac-Man maze. You were Pac-Man, so you're acquiring the gold coins that are in the way and avoiding the ghosts that Pac-Man game used to have. Everybody knows how to play it, and it's actually fun because you're actually moving fast and acquiring these coins as you move along through the maze. and it's time limited. That's a very popular game right now. So I see social, as the market's developing and people aren't buying the headsets in the numbers that everybody had hoped, still I think that venues who will provide headsets to people and then an experience that they fully enjoy is a way that's going to help break the market open. But content is still an issue. But having a social gaming experience where we can track up to 100 people. In a room this size, we could track 100 people within a millimeter of each other all at the same time so they can be in the same virtual reality. And that has tremendous applications for education.
One thing I was going to say, another highly useful use for VR is medical technology. I've seen demos where doctors are using headsets. They can actually, with computerized robots, actually be in another room and perform more skillful surgery than if they would do it themselves. And this is with VR. And it could be done, on the other side of the world through computer technology.
Let me give you another example for training. Outside of the gaming industry, in situations like for hospitals, when they have a code, whatever it is, red, blue, I don't know what their codes are in hospitals, but sometimes it means that if there's a certain code, people have to run to certain stations and do certain things. Well, to practice doing that for the employees of the hospital, they can't do it in the hospital because it disrupts everything. They can't practice there. So off-site in a big room, everybody can put on headsets and be in the same virtual reality, which looks precisely like the hospital. It's built, the graphics are created that replicate exactly what the hospital is, so that people can collaborate with each other and go to their posts and do whatever they need to do and practice training for emergency situations. Same thing we're talking with airports. The Munich airport is talking about building using one of their hangars for people in there to train for, well, to be honest, emergency situations like terrorists in the airport. Recreate the Munich airport and various aspects of it, and then have people train on how they react if there's an occurrence of a terrorist attack. That's something that VR can really benefit in the training sense, and that's not just entertainment.
Right. To get back to the original question, where right now, where do we see the killer applications and where VR has been used today? I think after this friendly debate between my colleagues, there is one thing in common between what each of you have mentioned. VR needs social, and a VR experience without social as an element to it is not a true VR experience. And why is that? Because we are social animals, and VR presents us a different world. If we are in this different world alone, no matter how amazing this world is, at the end of the day, we feel lonely, right? And I think this also gets back to our topic today, about where VR could overlap with blockchain. So I'm an investor. I invest in a lot of VR companies, and I invest in a lot of blockchain companies. And social is also the answer where I see VR overlap with blockchain. Because without blockchain, we don't have community. We don't have ICOs. And without social, decentralization means nothing, right? So if we get back to the example of Denise or what Peter has been building, it's all, no matter we are talking about the matrix in VR or the Oasis in VR, it's all social platform. And where blockchain comes into this product or this new world will also be social. So I think social is a connector, is a fundamental connector that connects VR with blockchain, and at the end of the day, the best content on VR will also be social content.
Yeah.
And so what are the social user cases? Very great.
I was going to say one of the benefits, we have a VR gaming platform, and obviously there's a natural fit between tokens and with internal monies, gold, that's been around since the beginning of games. So it's very easy, and obviously we come to the question of what's a utility token, what's a security token. I think how do we apply, obviously the number one way we apply blockchain to VR is that we can raise money through an ICO. And we take those tokens, they're clearly utility tokens because they're used in the game by the users. It's part of the games and the internal economy itself. But we've also found that blockchain has been, there's a lot of fraud in gaming, online gaming. You can then put the gaming, make, let's say 10-minute timestamps and basically have an irrevocable, non-disputable track record of what's happened in the game. People cannot come in and steal items. They cannot even hack the game. So there are a lot of different ways that we've applied blockchain to get to a VR game.
Yeah, but first we need to understand where VR gets social value, right? The point. What are the user cases? I think that the value could be if you put VR glasses, or I don't know, just put something into your brain, and in a second appears in this forum, and you don't need to fly, and you don't need to have a jet lag. You just come in there and walk around network in a similar kind of, and have a similar experience, which is about empathy, right? So we come there to feel emotions of other people, to get more wired. Can VR give to us facial expressions and eyes to understand deeper emotions of people we connect, so we can build trust and understand how we can motivate each other to make great ideas come true?
I think like one of the things that we've also built in, and I'm not sure if it exactly answers your question, but one of the issues with the developer community, they put their games on Steam, on iTunes, on Google Play. Sometimes it takes up to 45 to 60 days to get paid. They take a 30% slice. When you put a game on the blockchain, number one, creating a wallet within your world, as soon as that transaction, as soon as the user buys the game, the token within this world is automatically, within a millisecond, sent to the wallet. The content provider, the developer, can then take that out immediately. There's not a 60-day wait, 45-day wait, 30-day wait. They have control immediately. Same thing with users. If we have user-generated content, they can sell it. They can have their wallet within our platform. They get paid immediately, securely, no fraud. It's there. They can cash it out on one of the exchanges. So I think another great benefit within a gaming community is that it's immediate payout, also cheaper.
I absolutely agree that we need to socialize VR industry, VR applications, and it's the key, it's the way how it becomes popular, you know, and these things, they can improve, they can enlarge the community who loves VR, who loves AR, MR. We don't mention such things today about MR. But I can tell my vision. We have experience. We already did a lot of fashion e-commerce VR stores, and the problem that we mentioned before when we visited big brands who had experience, who already had some shops, stores, who tried to communicate in another way with their audience, to sell something or serve their clients. The problem was that there were no audience, because they launched their own website, for example, or own application in VR and tried to sell something, but there is no audience. It's not implemented to some social network or somewhere, and that was the problem in every company we visited. And we understand if we will create something which attract mass audience, so it will be much more easier for the brands to come and receive what they want, and for the people to receive what they want. We need to connect business, we need to connect community, users, game players, I don't know, technology lovers, together in one big ecosystem. And my vision is that we need just remember the history of Instagram, for example. That was an application just to make photos, yes, to put filter, that's it. Who could imagine that it becomes the world famous marketing platform, yeah? And now there are a lot of stars, Instagram stars, they have millions of subscribers. Why? Because they are producing content, you know? They're making funny videos or funny photos, you know? But people, the crowd now generating content better sometimes than big companies, than big producers sometimes. The same I already said about YouTube, yes? Another example. So trust people. We need to give them the instruments to create content. Before, only special companies had such opportunity to create 3D, VR, AR content. Now we should give them such instruments. This is what we are doing now, and we believe if we give such instruments to the crowd, to the millions of people, it will adapt first, and will create such a community, such social network, I don't know, and then you will see a lot of cases because people will produce this by themselves.
Yeah, do you mean that I wouldn't just transmit video to my Facebook friends?
Yeah.
I would record my experience so they can kind of take my helm and feel like they sit there. And that's kind of Instagram with virtual reality experiences of other people. So you come into head of other people and feel, at least see what he see. Yeah.
It's
teleportation.
It's quite
Transportation, right?
yeah, it's quite simple example. I can tell you that now we have much more power. We have much more opportunities and much more interesting cases, like said before about surgery, yeah, such thing, education, e-commerce, remote working, outsourcing, such things. So I mean that VR can cover a lot of industries, a lot of cases, much more than just streaming videos in VR. It's simple now. And it depends on the market, especially now we are working a lot in Japan. And in Japan, VR is very popular everywhere, you know. It's not like in Europe. An absolutely different market. They are 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.